Unafraid, Reister or Wrong, George Reister here. Thank you guys for joining me. Thank you for starting the week with your boy. First of all, swipe up, share the feed, like the feed, and most importantly, continue to send your comments in. This is our conversation. I'm just leading it. You know what I mean? We got a couple really good things up today. First of all, college football ratings are down. And we're going to talk about why those are down. Next thing up, the Seahawks fans, Seahawks players, Jaguars fans, Bush League at the end of the game. Apparently, I need to give you guys the fan code of conduct because you don't know how to act. So that's what we're gonna. So that's what we got on track for today. Where we're actually gonna start at though is a couple quick hitters. First of all, the Indianapolis Colts versus the Buffalo Bills game and the Army versus Navy game, those were fun to watch. Games in the snow, there's nothing more fun than watching games in the snow. Those are always fun. I'm in on them, but it takes a special person to attend that game. I'm always wondering, like, who attends a game in the snow? Like, you are a diehard football fan if you attend a game in the snow. Like, that's not normal behavior. Like, it takes, because I'll tell you this, unless my kid was playing, there's no way in hell I'm sitting there in a game in the snow. Yes, I love Army. Yes, I love Navy. Interesting game, but I prefer to watch it on my TV. And the Indianapolis Colts versus the Bills game, hell no, I'm definitely not sitting out in the stands to watch those two terrible teams play. Not happening. But the two, oh, and also I want to give a shout out to Arizona State basketball team who knocked off Kansas last night. Pac-12 in the building. Pac-12 in the building. You guys, we got a serious conversation today because I know a lot of you guys are college football fans. And this is very, very important. Swipe up, share the feed now because you guys are not going to want to miss this. We're going to talk about why college football ratings are down, why the College Football Committee added to this, and why college football is in danger of suffering the same fate as the NFL is. Same fate as the NFL. NFL ratings are down. College football ratings are down, and guess what? It's not because of the kneeling. It's because of schedules. It is because of poor competition. It is because of a lack of good games. That's why college football ratings are down. So this came out in a Sports Illustrated piece yesterday talking about why college football ratings are down. And the person who analyzed it is this guy named Austin Karp. And Austin Karp is the assistant managing editor of the Sports Business Daily. And last week, so he goes in, he's like, all right, let me examine what's going on with college football ratings for 2017. And he looked at all the networks. He looked at all of them. And he's like, okay, they're down. But the question is, why are college football ratings down? Whether it's whether it's Ohio State, whether it's Alabama, whether it's Oregon, whoever it is playing, the ratings are down. And the reason why the ratings, well, actually, I'll give you the actual ratings first. So the ratings are down in college football. You had CBS, which carries the SEC, 5 million viewers, down from almost 5.5 last year. That's 10%. ABC down 18%. Fox up 23%. I'm sorry, Fox down 23%. NBC down 3%. ESPN down 6%. FS1 is the only station that actually went up. They went up 4%. But compared to the other stations, they're not very big. I mean, they went up from 743,000 average viewers to 819,000. Here's the thing. Nobody wants to watch non-competitive games. And that's why the playoff committee got it wrong and screwed up by letting Alabama in the playoff in the 14 playoff, in the college football playoffs. And I wrote an article about this, how the committee screwed up. But these ratings only further back up my points about the fact that nobody wants to see Alabama play Mercer. Nobody wants to see Oregon play Southern Utah. Nobody wants to see these non-competitive games. And when you get all these non-competitive games, what's going to happen is people are going to tune out. They're not going to watch. They're not going to watch. They don't even show up for the stadium. They don't even show up to the games for these games. They leave at halftime. So what makes you think that you're going to be able to get people engaged on television? Because when you look at some of the highest rated games, what happens is yes, there's a portion of people who are watching the game. And then people get on the phone like me or you. They text a friend. Hey, yo, did you see what happened in the Alabama-Auburn game? Did you see what happened in the USC-Washington State game? And then people go in and tune in the game even more. They turn on the game and they watch. But you're not going to have that happen when you play these non-competitive, non-conference games. And the NFL is suffering the same fate when you have bad teams playing. Nobody's going to watch. And college football, which had been stable, which had been consistent. I understand that some people are watching it streaming now instead of watching it on television. People watching it on their phones, on their tablets, all that stuff. Because I do it sometimes when I'm on the road as well. But I will tell you this. College football better fix this problem before they get themselves in a jam. And while everybody's trying to make the playoff, everybody wants to make the college football playoff. Yeah, we all do. But are you willing to sacrifice the game for that? Yeah, you want Alabama in. Yeah, you want Ohio State in. But wouldn't it be better if these teams actually scheduled better competition? I mean, why on earth should there be 3 games that are non-competitive every single week? I'm sorry, on every team's schedule. Why should that be okay? Why should we approve that? That's why college football ratings are down. If teams would schedule home and homes, imagine if you schedule a home and home with, instead of Alabama and USC playing in Arlington at the Jerry Dome, imagine the Crimson Tide traveling all the way out to the Coliseum, and then USC traveling back down to go play Alabama. Imagine that. Imagine Clemson go to Oklahoma, and then the next year, Oklahoma coming back to Clemson. I hate these lame neutral site games because they're a cop-out. While they say that fans get it, we're talking about why college football ratings are down. They're down 18% on ABC, 10% on CBS, 23% on Fox. NBC's down 3%. ESPN's up 6%. And FS1 is up a little bit. Fox is the only one up because they got the Big Ten network this game. So they had a bigger slate of games. So Fox is the only one that's not down. And no, this is not Fox News. This is just Fox. So this is just Fox, their football games. And the thing that doesn't make any sense is why the College Football Committee doesn't see it, why the NCAA doesn't see it, and why the conferences don't see it. Because I've been sitting here screaming from the rafters that nobody wants to watch non-competitive games. And it's not because of kneeling. There's no protest. And when you look at the 5 biggest games of this year, there were Auburn, Alabama, which was on November 25th, 13 million viewers. Georgia, Auburn, 13 million viewers. Ohio State, Wisconsin, 12 million viewers. Those were the conference championship games. Alabama, Florida State, 12 million viewers. First game of the season. Ohio State, Michigan, 10 million viewers. Take the hint. And you fans, you guys have to start making sure that you contact your commissioners. Make sure that you contact your school. Because while I condemn some of these SEC and ACC schools for scheduling terrible games, I also have to condemn my Oregon Ducks as well. I know that Texas A&M and Georgia both canceled games with Oregon, but so what? I still don't want to see the first 3 conference games next year. Just terrible. Just absolutely atrocious, just terrible. It's not cool. And when you look at these top 10, top 25 teams and who they play, no wonder college football ratings are down. Who would watch it? Who would watch it? I mean, let's take a little bit of an examination of what's going on. Take a little bit of an examination of what's going on with these college football games. Because when you look at the top, like let's just look at the top teams. You got Clemson. Clemson played 2 Power 5 non-conference games. Okay, cool. But they also played Kent State and they also played Citadel. Those are 2 games that fans cannot get back. 2 games they can't get back. Wisconsin went on to go play Utah State, Florida Atlantic, and BYU. All right. Well, I mean, BYU was a try, but come on. That's why college football ratings are down. I'm going to write an extensive article about that today. It'll be out, so you guys enjoy that. The next thing up, Jaguars fans and Seahawks fans. If you watched that game yesterday, it was a hard-fought game. Jaguars, Seahawks, all is good, right? All is good until the end of the game. Hold up. Oh, my God. See, you are the reason. J706 saying, but that's every year. The cupcakes. It is getting worse. The cupcakes in college football are getting worse. And college football ratings are going to go down. This is a business decision. And at the point in time where you guys excuse this, where you excuse it, you're going to continue to get more of what you're getting. People are there. They're feeding you garbage in terms of content, but you're going to act like it's good. Go ahead, act like it's good, because I will tell you, just accepting bad, like you're not going to give me crap and tell me that it's sugar. It's not. Every team can play at least 2 or 3 competitive non-conference games, whether you're in the SEC or whether you're in a conference that plays 8 conference games or 9 conference games. You can play that, and the fans deserve it. You're spending your money. I mean, think about it. You're spending your money on swag. You're spending your money on alternative jerseys. You're spending your money on stuff for your kids. They put out a new jersey, put out a new hat, all that stuff. You're spending your money, and you're okay with that. All right, well, I'm not okay with spending my money on trash. So I'm demanding better. You should too. Okay, now moving on. The Seahawks and Jaguars game. At the end of the game yesterday, if you noticed, so it was a hard-fought game. And the part that's making the biggest headline is that the Seahawks defensive lineman, Quentin Jefferson, tried to confront fans in the stands after he got ejected. And that led me to go back to the fan rights at games. Because apparently people have misconstrued the fact that when you go to a game, you buy a ticket to a game, that does not buy you the license to say and do whatever you want to players. It does not in any way buy you that license. A ticket to a game buys you the right to, it buys you a seat. It buys you the right to cheer. It buys you the right to boo. It buys you the right to be entertained. And also, it buys you the right to say anything that you want to the players. Anything that you want, as long as you'll say it privately to the player. Those are the 5 things that your ticket buys you. It does not buy you the right to berate people in terms of calling them racial epithets. It doesn't give you a right to do any of that. It gives you the right to go enjoy a football game or go enjoy a sporting event. That's what it gives you. Because I wasn't so mad at Quentin Jefferson, the Seahawks defensive tackle, for trying to crawl into the stands. The man is ejected. Think about this. His testosterone is on max. Adrenaline on max. He just got thrown out of the game that they just lost. So he's hot as fish grease already. And then people are throwing stuff at you. And as a man, I will tell you, and probably as a woman too, there's nothing worse than being hit in the face. Even if it's on accident. Tell you a quick story real quick. My son, my oldest son, who at the time was 4 or 5 years old, threw a little temper tantrum, turned around and hit me in the face. This boy turned around and hit me in the face. And you know what? Pissed me off. I was hot. I was mad. And I'll tell you this, he's never considered doing that again. Learned early at 4 or 5 years old, yeah, you should probably keep your hands off daddy's face. And so, like, while people are yelling at Quentin Jefferson for the Seahawks for getting ready to jump into the stands, what would you do in the situation? Like, let's not condemn the person who reacted to the situation, even though that he did ended up calming down and getting out of the stands. Well, stop trying to go in the stands because he got pulled off. Let's condemn the people who were throwing stuff at him. Because as a fan, you don't have that right to throw stuff at people like that. You should be banned from the game. You should not be, permanently. Because you have created a dangerous environment for everybody around you. You created a dangerous environment. We saw the malice in the palace with the Detroit Pistons years ago. How did that work out? Ron Artest gets suspended. The wrong fan gets punched. All of that. That's what happens when you do stupid stuff like throw stuff at players. Because I love these guys who get to talking trash, get to saying stuff, throwing stuff. But the truth be told, that's why I say the fifth rule of what you have as a fan is you can say whatever you want to players as long as you would say it privately. If you were locked in a room with that player, couldn't get out, would you say what you would say? If the answer to that is yes, okay, go ahead, say it. No problem. But if you would get in there and them nuts get tight, then guess what? You shouldn't say it. If you get in there and you want to hide and call the police and all that stuff, then yeah, you shouldn't say it. Those are the rules, man. Because players are people too. They're not just robots. Fans take it way too far. Fans take it way, way too far. And I'm not mad at Quentin Jefferson at all. I would have probably reacted the same way, and so would you. The problem is the fan. What the fan did incited violence. It wasn't what the player did. It was what the fan did. And fans are out of control. So another fan that's out of control is there was a dude who just got sentenced in Texas, 35 years, a bouncer at a club who was sentenced to 35 years for beating Moses Malone Jr. Moses Malone Jr. is obviously the son of Moses Malone, NBA Hall of Famer. This dude got 35 years. Check this out. 35 years. His name is Darian Blunt, 40 years old, convicted of aggravated robbery after confronting Moses Malone Jr. for a Facebook post. This man got 35 years in jail for beating up and robbing Moses Malone Jr. over a Facebook post about James Harden. The man said James Harden didn't play no damn defense, which is a fact. He didn't like him as a player. All this stuff. Didn't say anything overly critical. I mean, this is a person who might try to beat me up for some of the things I said about James Harden. The man don't play no damn defense. It's the truth. But at the point in time that you're willing to risk your freedom 35 years for James Harden, for a Facebook post over James Harden, man, you done lost your damn mind. I mean, James, it'd be different if James Harden was paying you. You're a bouncer at a club. James Harden ain't paying you. But you're going to defend him like that. That's like people who get in fights in stands. Like Raiders, Chargers. Raiders, whoever. Whatever fan. How the hell are you going to get in a fight over some... I mean, the players don't even get in fights with each other very often. But you're going to get in a fight in the stands. You ain't getting no check I mean, come on, man. Sit there and enjoy the game like a normal human being. But the person, to go back to the Seahawks, though, the person who actually incited the violence, though, was Michael Bennett. So Michael Bennett is, obviously everybody knows him from his brother being Martellus Bennett, the incident in Vegas. Did he lie? Did he not lie? To the saying that he was racially profiled. All these things. Hold on, let me send it out about Michael Bennett. And so Michael Bennett was dead wrong for what he did. He was the one who incited the entire fight. So there would have been no Quentin Jefferson fight had there not been what Michael Bennett did. I've called, when Tennessee was getting ready to hire Greg Schiano, I talked about Greg Schiano as being Bush League and having Bush League tactics for some of the stuff that he would do at the end of the game. And the Seahawks, Michael Bennett specifically did what I hate. The Jaguars have won the game. They're taking a knee. There's no timeouts left. Michael Bennett decides to take it upon himself to dive at the center's knees, and then after that, roll him up, roll on the back of his legs. He made an attempt to hurt the man. He made an attempt to hurt the the Jaguar center or anybody else on their offensive line. That's a Bush League play. Bush League play, and he's got to be fined for that because he was the one who started this whole brawl. And I'll tell you this, but the crazy part about it is, as much as people don't like what he did, I still don't believe that you can suspend Michael Bennett for what he did at the end of the game. Because this is not the first time that the Seahawks have done this, but I'll get to that in a second. But the reason why I don't believe that you can suspend Michael Bennett for what he did is because the NFL has created a horrible precedent with their suspension policies. Horrible. You looked at Crabtree and Talib, that big brawl that went from end zone to end zone, over the chain, punches thrown, all that. Both of those dudes got one game. AJ Green and Bouye. AJ Green got in a fight with the Jaguars. He got in a fight with Jalen Ramsey from the Jaguars. Mike Evans, clean, cold, cocked the dude from the back. Gronk made an attempt to injure somebody. That's why. So all those things happened. All those things got one game. Michael Bennett does this yesterday. Can't give him another game. How can you get a man a game for this? I mean, the NFL has already had like 15 suspensions this year. That's more than any year ever. Any year ever. So the game hasn't changed. You got the people running the game that's changed. And that's why that's why people are in an uproar about Roger Goodell getting $200 million. Because now you got to deal with all this politicizing of the game. Thanks for the cool helmets. Just awful. The game is being ruined by people who don't play the game and aren't a part of it. Whether it's the fans doing ignorant stuff from the stands, saying crazy stuff they wouldn't say to players. Whether it's these schedules, non-entertaining games, these leagues have to do better. They are killing the product. They are killing fans, not giving them an opportunity to enjoy the game. Somebody said 90s NFL looks better, and hip-hop. 100%. Hip-hop was better back in the day. So, well, with the exception of the evolution of Jay-Z and Drake and some of them other cats, I would argue that that's better and more evolved. But in terms of football, football was better. Football used to be better before they politicized it. They could have taken out the hits without all this extra mumbo jumbo. All right, thank you guys for joining me today. Unafraid, Reister or Wrong, George Reister here. Please make sure you send your emails to unafraidshow@gmail.com. Continue the conversation. Catch you guys tomorrow.